Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Friday the 17th of June 2022. What a week it's been. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon we bring you the 5 news items that happened today that you need to know about. Right, let's start with story number 1. The S&P ASX 200 finished the day down 1.8% to 6,475 points, its lowest close since 2020. It dropped 6.6% this week, and it's down 12% over the past year. Now, the market is down close to 15% since its peak in late April. That's actually a pretty decent performance. Compared to markets in the US, Europe and the UK, they're down much more, and several are in bear market territory where the peak to trough fall is more than 20%. Today, the market was led lower by the big miners, in part thanks to a drop in iron ore prices. BHP was off 4%, while Rio Tinto and Fortescue were both down nearly 5%. Tech stocks and financials were also sold off. 3 of the big 4 banks, Commonwealth Bank, Westpac and ANZ, are now trading around 52-week lows. Investors are worried that a tsunami of bad debts is coming to get the banks. One sector which outperformed today was gold. Silver Lake Resources, Evolution Mining and Ramelius Resources were all up by more than 6%. Market leader Newcrest Mining rose 3.4%, while number 2, Northern Star Resources, was up more than 5%. That's because in volatile times, people like gold. It's considered a safe haven, and the price of the precious metal at one point this morning was back above $1,850 an ounce. The worst performer on the day was GUD Holdings. The designer, manufacturer and distributor of car products downgraded its outlook, blaming supply chains. That sent its share price down nearly 20%. Oof. Best on the day was EML Payments, which jumped more than 7%. Story number 2. The National Cabinet met today, the first time since Anthony Albanese was elected Prime Minister. By all reports, it was a pretty cordial affair. There was a 3-month extension of COVID-19 funding for state and territory hospitals, and the new Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet boss, Glyn Davis, will oversee a review of how the overall health system operates. The Cabinet also discussed skills shortages, the energy crisis, and Indigenous recognition. Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk said it was a refreshing change to be able to discuss health. New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet welcomed the focus on health reform, and Western Australia Premier Mark McGowan, after the meeting, invited workers to head west, where there's plenty of jobs, he said. Story number 3. Latitude Financial and Humm Group have dropped plans to merge their instalment pay, buy now, pay later and credit card businesses. Latitude was going to buy Humm's consumer finance arm, but Humm released a market update showing a more than 60% drop in cash profit for the first 5 months, and the deal's been abandoned. It's a win of sorts for Andrew Abercrombie, Humm's largest shareholder with 23% of the company, who had been telling shareholders to wait for a better offer. Story number 4. Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin have released a list of the Australians they don't like. There are 121 names on that list, including CEOs, defence chiefs, academics and journalists. All 121 have also been banned from visiting Russia. The list includes iron ore magnates and the richest Australians, Gina Rinehart and Andrew Forrest. Mr Forrest today said it was a badge of honour to be on the list. Atlassian bosses Mike Cannon-Brookes and Scott Farquhar make the list, as do media barons Lachlan Murdoch and Kerry Stokes. Property boss Harry Triguboff is there, as well as ABC chair Ida Buttrose. And finally, story number 5. Wall Street ended much lower this morning, with the broad-based S&P down 3.3% and the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite off more than 4%. Fears that the world's biggest economy won't be able to avoid a recession due to much higher interest rates is permeating global markets, including Wall Street. Growth stocks have been hit hardest, and Wall Street has fallen in 6 of the last 7 sessions. US President Joe Biden this morning said the American people are really, really down, following 2 years of COVID and surging petrol prices. But the president said a recession wasn't inevitable. It's not inevitable, but most market economists reckon it will happen anyway. That's it for the afternoon report for Friday, the 17th of June, 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the weekend Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.